If you think all olive oil is the same, think again. Based on my research, I think there's one big difference between olive oils that really matters for your health, and it isn't how much you paid for it. Because while any olive oil can provide you with some health benefits, I like to call the perfect olive oil the ultimate health tool. This olive oil can support your heart health, soothe achy muscles and joints, soften and hydrate your skin, support your immune system, and even help you lose unwanted weight. Today, I'm first going to show you the 3 things I always avoid in any olive oil. I call them the olive oil omens because, in my opinion, they're a sign your olive oil may be lacking one particular health booster, which I think is the most important thing an olive oil needs to be effective. Because finding the perfect olive oil for your health often has little to do with the cost, little to do with the best buy date, and sometimes nothing to do with the country of origin. I'll also reveal to you exactly what kind of olive oil I recommend to help you slim down, transform your energy, and protect your youthful vitality, no matter how old you are. My name is Dr. Stephen Gundry. I'm a best-selling author with years of experience in diet, nutrition, and human health. I've appeared on Dr. Oz and People magazine and have treated patients like self-help guru Tony Robbins and Grammy Award-winning R&B singer Usher. I was also a world-renowned cardiothoracic surgeon, but for the last 20 years I've had my own practices in wellness, the International Heart and Lung Institute, and Centers for Restorative Medicine in Santa Barbara and Palm Springs, California. But one of the things that makes me qualified to talk to you about health transformations and weight loss is my own. You see, even though I was a doctor, a surgeon, familiar with the ways the human body worked, I was 70 pounds overweight. And this was despite doing all the things I was supposed to do, or so I thought. I spent hours in the gym. I kept a very strict diet. I even ran multiple times a week. I ran half marathons, for goodness sake. Yet, I still had this unwanted weight I couldn't shake. If that sounds at all familiar to you, I want you to know, it's not your fault. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you a simple way you can use good olive oil to start slimming down, increase your energy levels, soothe your joints, and support your heart health, skin, mind, and more. Now, chances are you've heard of one healthy diet in particular that's supposed to be a real miracle for your health, the Mediterranean diet. It's one of the most recommended diets out there to help you extend your life, supercharge your energy, ease your joints, and more. Sounds pretty great, right? The thing is, there's something they're not telling you about the Mediterranean diet. It's full of harmful toxins. They're called lectins, and they're known to infiltrate your gut lining, letting bacteria, undigested food, and other waste seep out into your bloodstream. They can cause all sorts of digestive troubles, joint issues, unwanted weight gain, and illness. So how could it be that a diet loaded in toxic lectins can still help people lose weight, live longer, and feel better? The answer is, it's got nothing to do with the actual foods they're eating. It's what their food is covered in. I'm talking about extra virgin olive oil. Now, a really good olive oil is full of one specific thing that can give you more energy, stronger muscles, and help support a healthy heart. And it only takes a little bit to give you maximum effects. Of course, people in the Mediterranean drench everything they eat in olive oil. And this is exactly why their diet is so effective, despite all the lectins. Olive oil is the main source of fat in the Mediterranean diet, and it contains a super polyphenol called hydroxytyrosol, or as I like to call it, the fat fighter. But I've got one word of caution. Not all olives and not all olive oils are created equal. One problem is olive oil is a hot commodity. In fact, across the globe, the market for olive oil was valued at $7.83 billion in 2017 alone. Yep, that's B for billion. With so much money at stake, there have been, and are likely still are, imposters out there trying to sneak their version of quality olive oil onto the shelves. For example, in 2016, the news program 60 Minutes discovered multiple olive oils being sold in the U.S. were mislabeled, claiming to be extra virgin, when they were actually tainted with seed oils that could cause health problems, like allergic reactions. And it's not just here in the U.S. A few years ago, authorities in Italy discovered an olive oil fraud ring that had sold tens of millions of dollars worth of extra virgin olive oil that was anything but. So even if you're paying upwards of $30 for extra virgin olive oil bottled in Italy, it is possible what you're getting might be the same as the $4 stuff they sell at a bargain. And also, there are so many olive oil options out there, it can be hard to know exactly what to look for when you're shopping. That's why I have a few things I insist you look for the next time you plan to use olive oil for anything. Which brings me to the first thing I recommend when shopping for an olive oil. Olive oil omen number 1. I never buy an olive oil that only has a best buy date on its label. Here's why. Most olive oils stay best up to 3 years past the date they were produced. However, you're not likely to find a production date on the label of your olive oil, because this information is actually not required by the USDA. So many manufacturers skip this information altogether. Now true, there's nothing technically wrong with this practice, but there's just one problem. If you don't know when it was produced, how can you verify it's within that 3-year window? And if you don't know when that 3-year window ends, how do you know if your olive oil is out of date or not? Some bottles of olive oil may have been collecting dust on grocery store shelves for months or years, and you'd never know it if all you have to go by is a best buy date. Especially because best buy dates, by the way, are not even strictly regulated. In fact, this is shocking. You may not even know if you're eating rancid olive oil. One scientist actually called the U.S. the world's dumping ground for rancid and defective olive oil. Now, I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to eat anything that's gone rancid, because when olive oil goes rancid, it develops free radicals that attack your system, leaving you vulnerable to sickness, premature aging, and weight gain. On the other hand, if your label contains the date the olives were picked or processed, you can easily tell it'll be good for about 3 years from that date. Otherwise, you're completely in the dark. So I always recommend to look for a harvested on or produced on date. How do you know if your olive oil is the perfect one to help you slim down? Well, through my research, I've discovered that there's one type of olive that ensures you get the maximum dose of the fat fighter. I'll also share exactly what happens when you add this to your meals, no matter what your current diet looks like. You see, research shows this fatty super polyphenol can help keep you powered up and energized, support a healthy heart and blood vessels, support blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol already within a normal range, help soothe worn-down joints and overworked muscles, keep your skin feeling soft and hydrated. Pretty incredible, right? Well, the benefits don't stop there. The fat fighter is one of the only polyphenols that can cross the blood-brain barrier, which means it gets absorbed quickly and works fast to help your body protect itself against free radicals that cause aging and illness, support a sharp, focused brain right now, help your brain continue working at peak performance for years to come, and it also distributes the benefits throughout your entire body, from your brain to your muscles, liver, heart, kidneys, and lungs. And because this nutrient is delivered in a fat, it means it also helps fill you up faster. Plus, studies show eating diets that include fat can actually help you lose more weight and keep it off after you do. Plus, the fat fighter is exceptionally powerful because it can actually help your body reduce its fat storage, meaning even if your body wanted to, it couldn't hang on to fat. If that sounds like a dream, keep listening, because the fat fighter is a true power hitter when it comes to all aspects of your health. Now, like I mentioned, this incredible compound is found in olives, and I've been saying for years, the purpose of food is to get olive oil into your mouth, just like they do in the Mediterranean. Of course, the Mediterranean has the reputation of having the best olive oil out there. But here's something that may surprise you. In my opinion, you probably shouldn't buy it in the grocery store. Why? Well, that all boils down to olive oil omen number 2, bottled in Italy. Well, if you think this guarantees you're getting 100% pure Italian olive oil, you've got another thing coming to you. When a label says bottled in, they don't mean grown in. So, that fancy Italian olive oil you paid extra for could have been sourced from all over the world. What's more, if your olive oil was sourced from all over the globe and only bottled in Italy, you again have one less way of knowing what is in that bottle. Now, I'm not saying every oil marked bottled in Italy like this is bad, but it's my firm belief you should have all the information available about a product before you buy it, so you can make the best decision for yourself. So, anytime you see a label that says bottled in Italy, flip it over and check the back of the label. It must disclose the country of origin. And if your olive oil was bottled in one country, but grown somewhere else, there's one final omen I always look out for, and that's olive oil omen number 3. As I mentioned, the back of the label must disclose the country of origin. If more than one country is listed, I put the bottle right back on the shelf, no matter how fancy the bottle looks or how expensive it is. Because those olives could have come from all different farms across all different countries. They've likely been picked at different dates, in different harvests, and depending on how much their growing conditions varied, they could all have different flavors and varying polyphenol counts, which means your final product could contain olives grown years apart, affecting the best by date, compromising the flavor, and possibly even lowering the polyphenol count. You just have no way of knowing, which essentially leaves you holding a bottle of mystery oil. Pair that with a bottle that only has a best by date, and in my opinion, you're looking at a dud, no matter how expensive the sticker price is. But the thing is, even if there's only one country of origin listed, you want to find an olive oil that is sourced from one single farm. That way you know for sure you're getting the best olives pulled from one place with a full polyphenol count. Now, when you avoid the 3 olive oil omens, you'll be sure you're getting a remarkably potent olive oil. And as a cardiothoracic surgeon, I believe that organic, extra virgin olive oil may be the healthiest food on the planet. In fact, in my medical practices, I always advise my patients to get at least a liter of olive oil a week as salad dressing, on fish, heck, even drinking it straight. Now, I know how hard it is to get that much olive oil into your system. But in order to slim down, support your heart health, supercharge your energy, soothe your joints, and make your skin glow, a liter of olive oil a week is more than worth it. But I've got to be honest, even I struggle to get enough every week. In fact, between the two of us, my wife Penny and I only go through about 1.5 liters a week. So most of the time, even I'm not getting as much as I recommend. Now, that just wasn't okay with me. How could I recommend my patients do something that I couldn't even do myself? I realized increasing the amount of olive oil my patients and I could get in a week wasn't the answer. The answer was an oil that was more powerful, so you could get all the benefits without needing 1 liter a week. And that meant maximizing the amount of the fat fighter in the oil. So I had to look all over the world to find one that was. First, I headed to the Mediterranean. But what I discovered really surprised me. As it turns out, many Italian olive trees are growing fruits with only base amounts of the fat fighter. Thanks to their growing conditions in comfortable environments, their polyphenol production is good, but not great. I also checked out olive oils from Greece and Spain, 2 other Mediterranean countries known for high-quality olive oils. But it was the same story. There was only a little hydroxytyrosol, the fat fighter, in each oil I could get my hands on. If these famous olive oil hotspots didn't have an oil powerful enough to meet my expectations for myself and my patients, where else could I turn? Because there was an unlikely Mediterranean country I hadn't looked at. The only catch was you'd never imagine that olives could even grow there, never mind flourish, because the olive trees there only live in harsh desert conditions. There's barely any rain, it's really hot, and the soil has hardly any nutrients. Honestly, the conditions are so brutal, the olive trees think they're dying. It sounds bad, but this is actually the best thing that could happen to the trees because they buck up and go into survival mode. The trees produce massive amounts of polyphenols, including hydroxytyrosol, to literally save their lives. You see, these polyphenols protect the trees from their harsh environment, allowing them to flourish despite the dire growing conditions. In the process, they produce olives that are absolutely jam-packed with polyphenols. So, any guesses where I found the world's most potent olive oil? It wasn't Europe. It was Africa, in Morocco, just off the Mediterranean Sea. And when I came across these incredible trees from Morocco, the ones that are forced into survival mode, I knew I'd found the answer. The olive trees growing in the Moroccan desert had incredibly elevated levels of the fat fighter. In all my travels and research, I've found these olives are one of the most potent sources of hydroxytyrosol on Earth. In fact, olive oil made from these trees are supercharged with 30 times the polyphenol content of regular olive oil. We immediately decided to collaborate with a local farmer, Othmane, whose polyphenol-rich olive grove has been in the family for generations. And alongside his family, we're finally able to provide you with a delicious, healthy olive oil. An olive oil that's revolutionary and unlike anything you'll see on your supermarket shelves. I proudly call it Gundry MD Polyphenol-Rich Olive Oil, a revolutionary new way to get your intake of olive oil. Robust, delicious, and amazingly potent. To put my theory in perspective, because Gundry MD Polyphenol-Rich Olive Oil has 30 times the hydroxytyrosol as conventional olive oil, it's like getting the benefits of drinking an entire liter of olive oil in just over 2 tablespoons. I recommend you take about a half a tablespoon a day. That'll ensure you're getting your entire liter a week's worth of supercharged polyphenols in just 4 days instead of an entire week. And if you want to have more than a half a tablespoon, be my guest. You can never get too many polyphenols. Now, you can get your half tablespoon a day any way you like. Some of my clients like drizzling it onto their favorite foods as a delicious food topper. If you ask me, it's phenomenal on salads and fish. But you can add it to any meal to enjoy a fat-busting boost. In fact, adding Gundry MD Polyphenol-Rich Olive Oil to your daily diet is an easy way for you to enjoy great blood flow to support healthy arteries, laser focus and crystal clear concentration, comfortable joints and rejuvenated muscles, softer, hydrated skin, a well-supported immune system, a slimmer waistline. I love that it takes the pressure off trying to get enough olive oil every single week. In just a half a tablespoon a day, you're meeting that weekly quota and then some. Now, this is different than your typical olive oil, and you'll notice that when you taste it. It's slightly bitter, peppery, and green, the hallmarks of a potent olive oil. In my opinion, it's the best tasting olive oil I've ever had. But you really can't compare run-of-the-mill grocery store oil to polyphenol-rich olive oil. That's like comparing grape juice to wine. When you taste it, you'll know the difference. By now, you may be wondering how you can get your hands on this super potent olive oil. It won't be on the shelves of your local grocer because these olives grow in such specific conditions in only one place in the whole world, the deserts of Morocco. Not only that, we refuse to cut any corners, especially when it comes to your health. Every batch of polyphenol-rich olive oil is immediately cold-pressed in a state-of-the-art facility right in the olive groves to preserve as much of the fat fighter hydroxytyrosol as possible. You see, when you introduce elements like heat, light, or air to olive oil, the quality is almost instantly degraded. So we make sure to cold-press our olives so heat can't attack the polyphenol content. We make sure to bottle our polyphenol-rich olive oil in dark glass bottles so the light can't break down the fat fighter content. And we do it all at the source. It's also USDA organic certified, and it also meets the organic European standard. You'll find both of these logos on the side of the box. And when you see them, you know this olive oil meets some of the highest organic standards in the world. Simply put, we don't take shortcuts. After all, this is your health we're talking about. As you can imagine, these production practices do mean that polyphenol-rich olive oil is more expensive to produce than most conventional olive oils. And for the time, we've decided not to sell this olive oil in stores. This allows us to cut out the middleman. Instead, we're offering Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil straight to you. If we were to sell this at retail, the price would be about $49.95. But because you've stuck through this entire presentation, I know you're serious about finding a powerful, delicious olive oil that supports your health from multiple angles. So I want to give you a special one-time offer so you can try this olive oil for yourself and experience the difference it can make in your health and your waistline. That's why today you can secure your supply of Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil for just $39.95 a bottle. But I can only offer you this discount for a limited time. And this olive oil has been so popular, we're constantly in danger of going into back order. In fact, the first batch we produced, thousands of people bought us out in about 2 days. Plus, not only do these batches take a lot of time to produce, it's important to keep in mind this olive oil is being shipped from Morocco. It spends about a month traveling across international waters on a cargo ship. So, if we run out of inventory, it could take months to produce another batch, bottle it, and send it to our distribution centers. Which is why I don't want you to wait another moment to claim this offer. And I'm taking all the risk out of ordering polyphenol-rich olive oil today. In fact, every Gundry MD purchase you make is covered by my 90-day ironclad guarantee. If you don't feel like your mind is sharp as ever, if you don't notice your skin feels soft and smooth, if you don't feel like your joints are calm and supported, and if you're not feeling and looking slimmer than ever, you can send it back for a full refund of your purchase price. But I believe once you experience the incredible health-boosting power of Gundry MD polyphenol-rich olive oil, you won't want to be without it. So, click the button below to take the next step and claim your special one-time offer before our next batch runs out and before this offer expires. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. I hope you've learned a lot, and I hope you're ready to see just what the Fat Fighter and polyphenol-rich olive oil can do for you. Because I'm Dr. Stephen Gundry, and I'm always looking out for you.